everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel, Talking Dog Stitcher, here on YouTube and over on Instagram as well. And this YouTube channel is all about cross stitch. It's been about 5 weeks since I last saw you, so there is a lot to go through today. I've been really good at keeping track of all of the whips, the works in progress that I've worked on throughout the course of the last 5 weeks. So I'm going to show you everything. It's the 30th of November today, so this is like my penultimate video of the year, and certainly the last one before Christmas, which is very exciting. You can see we're getting a little bit festive in here already. It's been up a couple of days. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old now. They've both had birthdays since my last video, so it's very exciting time of year in this house. So in terms of what I'm going to be showing you in the video, I've got 3 new starts, an uncounted number of whips, and 0 finishes, which should come as a surprise to nobody. I'm saying a lot today. You can tell I'm out of practice. I've also got to show you today a very exciting pile of projects which form my plans for the rest of the year. I'll be taking part in 12 starts of Christmas hosted by Stitchy on Instagram, and I'm going to show you my 12 planned starts, and then I'm also going to talk to you about my plans for 2024 as well. After that, I've got a small amount of haul. There is haul being shown throughout the video because it has been that long that I've actually started using all of my haul and all that kind of stuff. So I'll let you know throughout if anything is new, birthday gifts, all that kind of stuff. And then giveaway winners. My last video, I had 5 things that I said I was going to give away. There are a couple of things that nobody has entered for, which is fine. They weren't particularly stitchy related, so I'm not entirely unsurprised. I will make sure that they get to someone who will absolutely love them instead. Let's do it. I'm going to start with my starts, and I mentioned in my last video that it was coming up to my birthday, and we've got a little bit of haul mixed in with my whips and things because my very sensible husband took a look at my Lakeside Needlecraft wish list and my Amazon wish list and made some purchases from it. So my first start that I have to show you was a birthday gift from my husband, the pattern and the fabric. This is my working copy because I've been scribbling all over it already. It's Northern Expressions Needleworks Twisted Band Sampler. I will pop a picture in of what it's like in full colour because this does not do it any justice whatsoever. And I'm stitching this on 36 count even weave, Zweigart, in the colour Anthracite, I believe. And that's as far as I got. So if you've not seen these patterns before, they're a combination of cross stitch, which is what this is, half of the first band. It's a combination of cross stitch and specialty stitches. So you can see that top corner is cross stitch, and then you've got a combination of specialty stitches that make up the next band, and then it's cross stitch and then specialty stitches, cross stitch, so on and so forth. So a really good challenge, a really good opportunity to practice some of these specialty stitches. It comes with pages upon pages of diagrams on how to do them, so I'm really excited to get into that one. The only problem is that it's quite a dark fabric, so it's a bit of a daytime stitch really. But yeah, I'm so excited that I got that. I love it. The colours, it's quite a muted rainbow. You can see that there. So that's the colour that I've done and that I've actually completed all the way through. I'm just stitching in the CXC. It does have It does call for silks, but I figured this is the first cross stitch item that my husband's ever bought me. Let's save the heart attack on the cost of kitting something up in silks. It would just never happen. I'd never get anything cross stitch related again. I'd be constantly, and that's not silk, is it? So we haven't done that. Next little bit of haul was myself and some of my stitchy friends placed an order with Owl Forest Embroidery. So Owl Forest Embroidery is based in Russia, which means that the shipping can get quite expensive, especially if you're not ordering very much. So we all decided we'd chip in, split the shipping. It was all delivered to our friend Tan, and she sent it all out to us. So the threads that I bought, I've already bobbinated because obviously I've already started and I didn't want to get them all tangled. I don't know if you can actually see these. They are beautiful, especially this one. Absolutely gorgeous. And they are the threads for this. This is the chart Peach Cranes from Owl Forest Embroidery. I'm stitching that on a piece of coffee craft fabric like I do with most things. Where is my label? It's 40 count even weave. And that right there is the width of it. So I've gone all the way from left to right there for that top band of cross stitch, and then we're into satin stitches, which they're just so effective, aren't they? Some single strand, some two strand, but they are hard. Like this is not tired stitching in any way. Just trying to keep tabs on where you are and how many of them you've done, and yeah, it's a struggle. And I've got so many more to do. The whole mountain range is in that satin stitch, but I think it's coming out beautifully. And when I get more daytime stitching, that's what I'll be picking up. Absolutely love that one. You should see the pile that I've got next to me of all of my whips to go through with you. Okay, third and final start of the month is probably going to be not a surprise to anyone that has been on my channel before. It's being kept in my canny little home case. All of my specialty threads in there, all of my patterns, etc. I am stitching the Joyful World monthly series. This is a picture of what all 12 of them look like. I've started November because we're in November, and starting at Mania I picked up May, and I've been starting every month in the month with the intention of picking them back up next year in the month that they are. So I've actually done loads on November, especially compared to some of the other ones that I've started. I'm about halfway across. It's being stitched on 32 count linen, Zweigart Vintage Cream. It's a printed fabric, and someone was too excited to get things started and started on the back. So I don't actually have the printed effect on the front. That's what it's supposed to look like with the sort of subtle mottling. And I've just got the blank, but it's still like a creamy colour rather than a white back, so it doesn't look too bad. And I have got a variety of fabrics going on across the 12, so it's not like this one's going to stand out. And as you can see, I'm stitching them separately, so no one will be able to tell. I didn't notice that I'd done that until probably about 15 stitches before the end of what I've stitched. So I'd done most of it. So I wasn't undoing it. So yeah, that one's that. I've got the classic, what's it stitched in? Gentle Arts. It's stitched in Gentle Arts. What I've done is, if the Gentle Arts called for in the title or in the animal, I'm using the called for Gentle Arts. So this Novem is in Gentle Arts Fisherman's Wharf. There is Gentle Arts Dungarees for the peacock's body, and then I can't remember what the green is. And then everything else is in CXC. So, like I mentioned, this is in the Gentle Arts. This border was supposed to also be in the Gentle Arts, and it's not. It's in CXC, and I think it really works. Like you can't tell that it's missing out or it's an entirely different brand or colour or anything. So I'm really happy with it. Obviously the November is going to have a bit of variegation where the border isn't, but I think it looks great. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. It's the first time I've done any of the lettering, so I'm really happy with it. Start number 3, 4, well, for most, those are all started in November. My last video was, I think it was the 26th of October, so we are a full month and a bit. On to whips. So I am showing these in no particular order. I haven't counted how many I've worked on over the course of the month. I'm very much a stitch what you want when you want kind of person. I attempted to do whip go, and it just, if the project didn't call to me, I just didn't stitch, because I was like, oh no, I should be doing the whip go one, but I don't really want to do the whip go one, so I'll do something else instead. It just didn't work for me. So yeah, I just pick up whatever I feel like stitching on. Most of the time it's just for one day, so progress is minimal, but I'm showing you all of it anyway. The first project that I am showing was from this issue of the World of Cross Stitching magazine. It's from October 2022, and it's this harvest picture on the inside. Last time you saw it, it only had the pumpkin. I'm stitching it on some 28 count, 32 count, not entirely sure, coffee craft fabric. So the white on the very inside of the highlights of the pumpkin there, and then all of the red and green is what I put into that. It's being stitched in CXC as well. Next one, you saw this last time round, is my Classic Princesses by Geo Creations. Last time I had just finished Rapunzel, and I've got these 4 finished already. So I moved up from Rapunzel and started on Snow White. It's on some 14 count Zweigart Ada in, I think it's pearl, white pearl, something like that. Just a big block of pale yellow stitching there. Very exciting. But I always said that I would show you everything, no matter how little, so I also picked up this for a little bit, naively thinking, oh, I'll just pick that up and get that finished. No, what I had done last time was too much, and then most of the word lettuce makes me sleepy, so I still had eating, all of the leaves, the trunk, Peter Rabbit. Don't know what I was thinking. Definitely wasn't going and getting that finished in one session. This is where I got to. I got eat and the leaves. Not a whole lot. but it's getting there. It will eventually be finished. As long as I keep picking it up and putting a little bit of work into it, it'll eventually get there. Speaking of which, I've just remembered that I've forgotten something. There's a project in my car that I need to go and grab so I can show you. I'll do that in a minute. The next project had loads of work on it over the course of the last month. This is my long dog samplers saga. This is a beast of a project, 389 by 504 stitches, huge. I've done pretty well. I'm stitching it on some plain white 18 count Ada, and that's where I got to. So last time you saw it, it was just this archway, maybe not even finished. So obviously this whole archway, and then I've moved down into the colours. So you can see there are 5 rows of arches. So I'm doing a colour gradient with the lightest blue at the top, getting slightly darker for each row of arches. And I couldn't resist a bit of a colour change, so we're down into the second colour there. If you're interested in which numbers I'm using CXC. The border is in 3799, and then the rest of the colours I've put a post on my Ko-fi page of all of the colours that I'm using. For that, I had to force myself to put that project down, otherwise I think I might have stitched it to completion, which realistically I wouldn't, because I don't do that. But loved stitching on that. It was obviously the 31st of October between now and last time you saw me, so I picked up some Halloweeny stitching. The Witchy Stitches Nightmare Before Coffee, which I'm stitching on some 32 count linen from Coffee Craft Fabric, and it's most of the mug, to be fair. I didn't have very much of the mug last time you saw it, so I love this fabric so much. It looks amazing. So yeah, I think it said 40% of the way through this one already. That one is being kept, sorry, it's being stitched in CXC, and it's being kept in my Turtle Bay Stitches Sugar Skull project bag. Another witchy stitcher that I picked up was Bottle That Shit Up. Love this pattern. This isn't me in any way at all. I think I said this when I first showed it. My emotion is written all over my face, and usually comes out of my tear ducts as well. I cry at anything. Yeah, I've got an expressive face. My husband, however, is the complete opposite. You barely get any emotion out of him ever. So this is for him. Again, some 32 count linen from Coffee Craft Fabric. It's washing it out a little bit. It's a little bit more purple in real life. And it's most of this bottle that's new since you last saw it. That's being kept in a project bag that I made myself using this lovely bumblebee fabric. Another project that I picked up, Spooky and Steve, Milk and Cookie Company. So as you can see, it is the American spelling of favourite. We have a U in favourite here, so I did need to rechart it. And also the since 1943, the date's just a bit meaningless, so I thought I'd put something a little bit more meaningful in. So I've recharted that banner to have my children's names. So I have high finishing hopes for this one. My My idea is that I'm going to get it framed in sort of a deep box frame, but at the back, and then put some handles on the side of the frame to turn it into a tray so that we can put milk and cookies for Santa out on it at Christmas. That's the idea that I've got in my head, like a deep box frame. And if anyone's got any ideas or knows of any products where you can mount your cross stitching in a tray, please tell me in the comments down below. I would love to know. I think having that finishing plan in my head has really motivated me to get moving on this one. Like I say, I had to rechart it, so I couldn't do anything on the project until I'd done the recharting and all that kind of stuff. So I got that done, picked it up, carried on stitching. It's being kept in a little project wallet that I made myself. And this is as far as I've gotten. It's on some 18 count white Aida 1/1 in CXC. And there you go, you can see the British spelling has been done. I've realised that I've not been telling you sort of 1/2, 2/2. Most of the time 18 count I will do 1/1. It looks a little on the sparse side, especially on the darks. I don't mind it so much on this one. It looks a little bit like a worn sign, I think. 32 count I will do 2/2. 14 count Aida I've been doing 2/1, etc. Next I picked up a Mania Start. This is Fairy Fox from Wonderland, Ukraine. I'm stitching this on some 28 count even weave, again from Coffee Craft Fabrics. And here is where I've got to. So last time you saw this, it was just this little bit here and a single row of orange before getting to this blueberry. The margins on this are quite narrow, so I just wanted to make sure that I could fit the blueberry on, that the blueberry wasn't going to vanish into this fabric before getting too far. So now that I know that's as far as it goes out to the right, I decided to start doing some more of the fox. So yeah, a few hundred stitches put into that one, and I love how that's showing, like turning out on that fabric. The orange on the purple and the sort of deep blue on the purple, it just looks amazing. And again, CXC 2/2. Okay, this is my oldest whip, and I got it out and I put some work into it, and I've still got a whole bunch to do. This is a Designer Stitches kit, Disney's Watercolours A Snoozy Day. It's all the kit materials, so I'm using the 16 count white Aida that it came with, and the, I think, is it DMC threads that it comes with. And here we are. So the last time I worked on this, I did a lot of the back stitching around the body. Yeah, a lot of the back stitching around the body. On the faces, they've now got eyes and eyebrows and things. And then also these leaves in the tree. So it looks like it should be pretty much just a bit of back stitching, a bit of filling in the tree, but that is a lot of tree that I still have to do. So I do need to keep consistently picking this up. The problem is, when I first started doing this back in 2016, I was doing it the way that I'd always been taught, which was to mark off your stitches as you go. And that's what I was doing, except, let's see if I can show you a little bit. I wasn't very careful with my colour choices when I was marking off my stitches, and I wasn't doing it on a working copy. For some reason it just didn't even occur to me to make a copy of the pattern before I started colouring it in. And these back stitches are in two different colours, denoted by two different line styles on the chart. And in my infinite wisdom, I decided that grey was going to be a good colour to use, to colour in. So there was a lot of, I actually think I missed a bit. I have. There was a lot of referring to the cover photo. And I've just seen that I've missed, where are we? These little creases here. I haven't got those on his face. And also there's a little there's his bum. He's supposed to have a little bit of back stitching on there. Can I see that in this piece of grey? Barely. Why did I do that to myself? So I am going to get this finished. I am going to persevere and get all of this back stitching done, but it is hard work. I have made it really difficult on myself, so we'll keep chugging away at it and we will get there eventually. Just don't let me at your grey colouring pencils or pens again, anyone. I've learned a lesson. Okay, I think this is my last one. Yeah, this is my last whip. It's being kept in another Turtle Bay Stitches project bag. The little honeycombs there. This is my Pardon the Weeds Sal. It's from this Emma Congdon Cross Stitch for the Earth book. Pardon the weeds, we're feeding the bees. Now this pattern is deceptively time consuming. So there are very, very few cross stitches in it, but they are all quite far apart, particularly for a person that doesn't like to count. So I didn't get much progress on this. I've only done one night into it, and what I've added in is the and these sort of yellow bits. So that's going to be a bee there, flowers up there, and then obviously, like I say, the word the, and a couple of these green leafy bits. But like I say, this is all of the yellow up at the top. They're so far apart. I'm doing it 1/1 on 18 count fibre on a whim, milk and honey. It's, yeah, there's a lot of stopping and starting, which obviously is one of the more time consuming aspects of this hobby. So I'm getting there. Another one where it's just a case of keep plugging away, do a little bit of cross stitching here and there, do a little bit of back stitching here and there until you can get it finished. So yeah, that is it for whips. I'm gonna go and put all of these away before my pile teeters over and completely destroys my living room, and then I'm going to be coming back with my plans, my 12 by, my 12 starts of Christmas and 2024 plans. Okay, let's make a swift move on to plans. So I mentioned earlier in the video I'm going to participate in 12 starts of Christmas, hosted by Stitch Ecology. So head over to Rachel's Instagram to find out all about it. There's also a 12 whips of Christmas option for people who don't want to do a lot of starts. I've chosen, because I love to start things, I've chosen 12 starts. I've picked 6 festive starts and 6 non-festive starts by 12 different designers. So yeah, I just wanted to show you those along with the fabric choices that I've made, and hopefully, I think it's tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow, is when I'll start my first one. I haven't decided which order I'm going to start them in, just that I'm going to start them all. So yeah, let's get going. The first one that I picked out of my stash is Art Nouveau Fox by Needle Lock Designs. Such a cute little pattern. And I'm going to stitch that on some 40 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics, which is washing it out a little bit. It's a little bit of a sort of mauvey purple, quite similar to, yeah, it's not showing up true to colour at all. No, not really. It's a little bit more mauve purpley than that. But that's what I'm going to stitch that on, and it'll be quite small and cute. I'll be doing it 1/2, which is 1 strand of thread over 2 of the linen threads in CXC. Apologies for zips, I haven't undone any of the zips on these yet. Next one I'm going to do is Rococo Ladies from Soda Stitch. If you have seen Jordan, Tattooed Stitcher, or Bernadette, Burn Stitches, they have both got these ladies in their pile of whips, and they've done this really fun thing where they've changed each of the ladies to represent a character from Bridgerton. So let me get my notes. I reached out to Jordan to say, would you mind if I did the same, and would you share your conversions with me? And she did, just straight away. And I'm blown away. The Stitcher community is one of the kindest communities I've ever come across. It's absolutely wonderful, and I'm so happy to be part of it. So Jordan sent me over the conversions along with the names as charted by Amber of Rogamore Stitcher, so that I can turn this into Augusta, Princess of Wales, who is King George's mother in Queen Charlotte Netflix show, and she will be getting red hair. They've then got Lady Agatha Danbury, who will be getting a skin conversion and a hair conversion, because as Jordan says, she's always wearing these little feathered hats. This one's going to be staying the same as it is. That's Lady Violet Bridgerton, and then on the end here will be Queen Charlotte, again with a skin conversion on her. And I'm not going to be stitching them 4 in a row, so I've been doing a bit of cutting and sticking. I'll hold it quite far back so you can't see. This is the layout that I'm going to go for. So as you can see, I've got the little flowers above kind of sorted out. So I'm pretty happy with that layout, and it means that I get to use a slightly smaller piece of fabric. It's another piece of Coffee Craft fabric, 40 count even weave, and that's coming out a bit grayer than it is. It's a nice pale mottled blue, it's almost like a lavendery blue. It's lovely anyway. So yes, Rococo Ladies will be another of my 12 starts of Christmas. Third of my non-festive starts is being kept in this Turtle Bay Stitches Little Mermaid project bag. I'll show you the interior material, and it's the Bella Filipina Mermaids of the Season Stitch Along. Now I bought this when it first came out, before any of the mermaids had been released, and I have to say I'm not sure what I was expecting for something that was intended to be stitched within a month, but I was a little bit disappointed with them in that they seem to have very similar poses. They've all got their backs to you. There's no faces, there's just profiles. So they're all a little bit samey. So what I'm going to do is wait until winter comes out on the 15th of December, and then I'm just going to pick my favourite and stitch that one, I think. I'll obviously keep off the season name because they've all got sort of spring, summer, autumn, winter written on them, and then I'll not be stitching the border either. But I've got it all kitted up for all 4 seasons, so I've got what I need for whatever I choose to stitch. I'm just going to pick my favourite. I've never stitched a mermaid before. I don't really want to be stitching like the same one 4 times, but I will be starting it. I will be getting one of these mermaids stitched. It's to be decided which one I'm going to go for. At the moment, my favourite is the summer one, with the beautiful pinks and things, but we'll see. I might change my mind for winter when that one comes out. More coffee craft fabric. This is a piece of 28 count even weave, opalescent even weave. Yeah. Again, it's it's more of an aqua blue, and with the opalescent it really looks like sort of mermaid scales. It looks amazing. Such a beautiful piece of fabric. And if I'm only stitching one, I'll probably have half of it left to do something else on, which will be great. So yeah, that's what that's being stitched on. Next is a kit that I received from the Floss Friends retreat that I attended in July. Was it the end of June? June or July? Summer retreat. It's this one. This is Little Loops on the Beach. And it came as a full kit. So I've got some lovely yellow even weave and all of the threads and the fabric to turn it into a pillow. And I also got this bag at the same retreat, Little Loops stitching. With the lovely little swimmer charm. So yeah, not very Christmassy to be stitching in December, but I don't mind a bit of non-seasonal stitching. Again, another non-festive one. It is hands-on design, irony. Irony, the opposite of wrinkly. I also have the laundry never-ending cycle chart, and then it's just the third one that I need to pick up at some point to complete the set. Stitching it on some plain white 18 count Ada with CXC. Last but not least, I keep glancing over there because that's my front window with a view out into my driveway, and I keep hearing car doors. I keep thinking someone's turning up, potentially with Christmas present deliveries, which if they could arrive now, that would be great because nobody's home to be, you know, to ruin the surprise. Yeah, final non-seasonal stitch is Strawberry Season by Yasmin's Made with Love. I got this as a member of Yasmin's Patreon page. I highly recommend it if you are able to afford to support Yaz that way. I unfortunately had to stop subscribing, but as soon as I'm in a position to sign up to Patreons, Yaz is the first one that I will be signing back up to. I will be stitching this in CXC, so it's charted in DMC and Weeks Dye Works, so I've just converted the Weeks into CXC. I'm going to be stitching it on some 32 count affogato from Fibre on a Whim. That's actually coming up quite true to colour, actually. It is a little bit of a greeny, browny, muddy pattern fabric. which I think will look fab on there. So 6 out of season stitches, and then 6 sort of, they're not all festive actually, some of them are just a little bit wintry. The first winter stitch is this Mill Hill kit, buttons and beads. It's Blue Jay. Comes with perforated paper. It'll be the first time I'm stitching on perforated paper, with that button and all of the beads. I actually got this as from Rachel Stitchology's D-Stash, so I think it's quite fun that I'm starting it for 12 Starts of Christmas. Next is a Stitch Rovia one. I got this from Cross Stitcher magazine, November 2021, but it's also on Etsy, on the Stitch Rovia Etsy shop, as Christmas holidays. It says, I just want to bake and watch Christmas movies, and I'm going to stitch that on this really fun piece of fabric. I picked this up at a D-Stash table. Fabric Flare Gingerbread Man, 16 count Ada. I think that's going to look so fun. Next festive stitch is Barbara Anna's Infinite Christmas. This is a freebie on the Barbara Anna Instagram page. Just head to the link and I believe it is still available. I'm going to stitch that on some 32 count vintage country mocha linen from Zweigart. And again, CXC 2/2. I've had that one printed and ready to go for so long. I'm really excited to just get it started now. Excuse the rustling. Next up, I've got Cotton and Twine Stitch Box pattern. Again, this was from the retreat. I won this in the raffle, and it's just so cute, merry and bright, with the little presents and all that kind of stuff. And it comes with the green Ada and everything for you to stitch it on. Next is You Know Dasher. This is by Helen Daly, also known as the East Coast Crafter. And I'm going to be stitching that on some Fabric Flare Iced Coffee with Gentle Art Onyx. Sorry about that. I, as expected, was interrupted. Just the final one. So the last festive start of December will be Christmas Tiny Town by Heart and Hand on a piece of 32 count Fibre on a Whim wheat. And I'll be stitching that one all in CXC. I had a look at the cover photo and none of the threads seem to be overly variegated, so I've decided just to keep them cheerful. Right, that is it in terms of my 12 Starts of Christmas. 2024 plans. In 2024 I will be turning 35, and I've been kind of debating what I want to do stitchy wise to commemorate it. So I played with the idea of maybe getting down to 35 whips. However, with those 12 Starts of Christmas, I think I will be up to 71 projects. So to get down to 35 whips, I would need to finish 36 things and not start anything else. And I don't think I've got that in me in the course of a year. So I've decided that I am going to aim for 35 finishes over the course of 2024. That means that I can still start things, because I've got a couple of starts planned in terms of stitch alongs with some stitchy friends and a couple of retreats that I'm going to. So I still get to start some things, but I will be getting some finishes in as well. So 35 finishes for 2024. In 2023, if you discount my gift exchange type gifts and sort of Halloween stitchy gifts, I've done 9 finishes. So that is quite a stretch for me to try and get to 35, but that is the challenge that I've set myself. So when we do my next episode, which will be a whip parade, we'll be on the lookout for anything that is looking like it will be close to a finish or finishable in the next year. So yeah, very excited for that. I will also be doing Stitch from Stash. I have plenty, I don't need any more. The only exceptions will be I'm going on a little away weekend with some stitchy friends to North Wales, where we'll be visiting a couple of local needle workshops. So there's a little bit of an allowance for that. And then also the April Floss Friends UK retreat in Rotherham. There's a little bit of a budget for spends there. But other than that, that's it. Stitch from Stash, freebies, that kind of thing. So that is it for plans. Penultimate thing, haul, bear with. Okay, I'll start with this one. This is from the end of October. It is the other half of the Halloween Smalls exchange that I was involved with. It arrived just after I finished filming my last video, but I kept it out so that I could show you all. This is from Raven, and it's a beautiful beaded hanging cushion and is double-sided. It's so intricate, beading all the way around the outside. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely thrilled with that. For the giveaway exchange. Next up is the one part of my birthday present that I haven't already showed you. My husband very sensibly went on my Amazon wish list and bought me storage for my ever-growing stash of beads. I've never actually attached a bead to a project yet, but I've got somewhere nice and organised to keep them all labelled up there. Plenty of space for more. So I'll pop a link to the one that this was on my wish list. Pretty inexpensive, and I'm really happy with them so far. They're just like a little Tic Tac box almost. So really happy with that. Comes with all of the labels as well. I have also got a couple more Nudge hoops from Hobby Jobby. They were having Black Friday sale. So these are my 2 favourite sizes. This is a number 2 and this one's a number 3. So really happy with them. Megan Coffee Craft was having a Fabric Super Sunday, so I've picked up some 36 count opalescent linen. Oh, there we go. A little bit, but that top is a really beautiful colour. Quite subtle. And I don't know if you can see, oh yeah, you can just about see the sparkle in that. And then this one was going a little bit cheaper. It's a 28 count even weave, because, I mean, that's pretty true. It's like a highlighter yellow, but it came out with some red splotches that she wasn't very happy with, so it is slightly discounted, but that is the red splotch. So it's not completely unnoticeable, but I don't think it does the fabric any harm whatsoever. So it's like a bright Halloweeny fabric. I love it. And then finally is some stitchy kindness. So I was watching Lindsay Wolfie Stitches, her first Flosstube, which is fantastic. If you haven't already seen it, I do recommend that you go and check her out. She has decided that her comfort zone in terms of fabric is 36 and 40 counts. And she had a bunch of projects that she'd already started on lower counts that she was adopting out, giving away to other stitchers to be able to stitch on them because she just wasn't feeling it anymore, which I thought was brilliant. And some of the fabrics that she had those projects on were beautiful. So I sent her a message and I said, I love your projects. Is this one still available? I'd love to adopt it. Maybe you would like to do a trade, because I have some 40 count that I'm not really ever going to stitch on. I'm not really loving it. Now, the piece that I'd been looking at had actually already been adopted out, so I didn't get that one, but she did have some other 36 counts that she was going to destash that she said she would trade with me. So in exchange for a piece of 40 count linen from Coffee Craft Fabric, I have a beautiful piece of 32 count Stormy Skies from Pole Stitches. Isn't that gorgeous? So yeah, the piece that I sent was a bit sort of green and yellow. I'd been calling it like lemon and lime, and it was beautiful. I couldn't see myself ever stitching on it. So it's in a home that will hopefully love it, and this has found a new home with me. So I'm really happy with that. Again, it's another case of the stitching community being so lovely, and you know, sending out all of these pieces of fabric to people to enjoy. It's great. And that's it. That's all I've acquired since last time. The last thing to do is just the giveaway from last time. So I've already drawn them. I will pop screenshots up on the screen. The first giveaway is for the Peppermint Thread Conditioner from the Stitching Den, which has a very, very festive scent. So the winner of that one, I asked you to use the word peppermint in your comment, and the winner is Keely Evans. Keely, if you could send me your address either by email, over on Instagram, on my Ko-fi page, and I will get that in the post to you. Next was the Blue Flower Winter Quail. I asked you to use the word quail, and the winner of that one is Woolly Kim. Again, send me a message, let me know how I can get this to you, and I'll get it in the post. And then finally, and by far the most popular, was this beautiful piece of banana oil fabric. It's 18 count, galactic, under the sea, beautiful piece of fabric. And this was open UK only because it has come all the way from America. And the winner of that one is Love It, Live It, Make It Yours, which is the lovely Natalie, who also happens to be the person who I did the Halloween exchange with last month. Natalie, you've won the fabric. I already have your address, so I'm just going to pop this in the post to you. So surprise if you don't watch this before then. Thank you everybody for entering. Like I said, the two that weren't entered for by anyone, I will make sure get a loving home elsewhere outside of the stitchy community. And because I've stored everything together, the fabric slightly smells like peppermint. Natalie, you'll have to tell me if it still smells like peppermint by the time it gets to you. So yes, thank you everybody for watching, for entering. There will be other giveaways in future videos, probably not until the new year, as like I say, the next video is likely to be my whip parade, and that's going to be long enough already. So please come back and see me again then, And in the meantime, have a lovely Christmas, a very happy new year, and lots of love, happy stitching.